Hello and welcome along to the preview of AFL Round 5. It's all brought to you by TABtouch, David Shortte and Digby Beacham with you. G'day, Diggers.
Good morning, Shorty.
Nice to be with you, and of course coming off a little bit of a return to form. We both snuck in with 7 last week. It was certainly much better than what we had the week prior.
Yes, we were coming off a low base, so we've done okay.
We'll see if we can't jack those numbers up for AFL Round 5. It all gets underway Friday night at the Adelaide Oval, where Port Adelaide do battle with Carlton. $1.16 to $1.13 here, Port Adelaide, and the Blues $5.25 out to $6.
I think the Power will be involved in a lot of multis, Shorty, and justifiably so. I expect them to start well and win running away.
Yeah, definitely. They've got some forward power up there. I think Charlie Dixon could well have a night out in a game like this, and Robbie Gray's going pretty well as well. He's had a pretty solid start to the season. Wingard up there as well. They've got plenty of forward targets, Port Adelaide. I think they'll blow the Blues out of the water in Friday night footy. We move on to the Saturday action at Etihad Stadium, where the Western Bulldogs do battle with the Brisbane Lions. Strong support here for the Doggies at the Shorts, $1.10 into $1.07. The Brisbane Lions 7 out to $8.50.
They're missing a few, the Bulldogs. No Crammery, no Cloak, obviously, after that bump from Jack Zeeble last Friday. Bob Murphy's 300th game. They need a bit of a spark, the Bulldogs. They're only just going, but they're far too good for the Lions.
Yeah, I think they've got a class edge here, haven't they? And they should be winning pretty comfortably. We roll on to the game here at Metricon Stadium, where Gold Coast host Adelaide. $4.50 into $4.25. Bit of support there for the Suns. Adelaide $1.20 out to $1.23. Well, Adelaide, to my eyeball, have been the form side in the competition for season 2017. Diggers, Gold Coast, their last fortnight's been better, but this is a real acid test for them.
It is, and I just can't see how they stop this Adelaide forward line. There's no Stephen May, there's no Rory Thompson. They're coming off a 24-goal haul against Essendon. I expect a high-scoring contest, Shorty, and I expect Adelaide to stay unbeaten.
Yeah, I'm with you. Gee, they've been impressive so far, Adelaide. They're kind of playing premiership football though in round 5, and that's going to be the challenge to stay at this level for the rest of the season.
It's an elite level though, isn't it? And what they're doing, they're just about unstoppable with the way that they're moving the footy, and Gold Coast don't defend all that great. So I think the Crows win and win well.
Yeah, I'm with you there. On to the Battle of the Bridge. Sydney doing battle with the GWS Giants. $2.80 in firm for the Red and Whites. Yet to have a win in season 2017. They take on the Giants, who are at $1.44. Last week against Port, they were in a real arm wrestle for 3 quarters, and then the last quarter the Giants really put the foot down and won particularly well.
Yeah, they did. Again, I'm just not sure that the Giants are at the level that they were for the most part last year, but the prospect of Heaney, Rowan, McVeigh, Tippett coming back for Sydney bolsters them, but I still think the Giants have the forward firepower in the likes of Green, Cameron, Patton to get over the line.
Yeah, geez, I liked the game from Patton last week. He really imposed himself on that contest, took some big marks and kicked a good haul of goals, so that should be good for his confidence heading forward. On with Digby, I'll go with the Giants there. We move to the game at Domain Stadium on Saturday night. Fremantle doing battle with North Melbourne, $1.48 in firm, the Dockers. North Melbourne at $2.65, likewise their price is yet to budge. Freo, the last fortnight, they've done nothing but impress me.
I agree. I have to be impressed with the way they're going. And look, they give you a chance now to score by virtue of the way they're playing. But full credit for the Dockers. I think they win again. I think they go 3-0 for their last 3 games, and it sets up a pretty good derby.
Yeah, it certainly does. The Len Hall tribute game. This will be a big game, as it always is. There'll be a really healthy crowd in attendance, and there'll be a lot of Fremantle fans entitled to be going into this game. Pretty bullish, I would have thought. They came from a really tricky spot last game and found a way to win on the road. That augurs well for a confidence of a side that has got a lot of young players. You can learn a lot from wins like that. I think they'll be tough to beat up against the Kangas. We move to the Sunday action. St Kilda doing battle with the Cats here. St Kilda $2.75 and firm. Geelong $1.45 and firm.
I like the $2.75, but I'm not bold enough to tip St Kilda, Shorty. I liked them last week. I think they're a side that can play finals football. I'm not convinced on the Cats yet. Admittedly, they're going well. They're unbeaten. I'll tip Geelong, but I'm by no means thinking they're certainties.
All right, look, I'm going to stick with the Cats as well. I like what they've been able to do. And again, I come back to this man. If you like your novelty bets, stick with him. Tommy Hawkins, he hasn't let us down so far this year. He is in peak physical condition. I've never seen him move smoother to the ball than what he has this season.
And he's being assisted by the ball movement forward. It's very quick, it's very direct, and he's certainly being the beneficiary of that.
He certainly is. I expect him to play a key part in that game. We see Hawthorn taking on West Coast Sunday, the MCG. The Hawkies yet to win a game. You can't believe it. Sydney and Hawthorn yet to win a game between them. after 4 rounds. They take on West Coast, who are $1.37, and Firm West Coast, who have struggled in recent times at the MCG, but surely this is a game they can grab the 4 points, Digby.
No more excuses. There's no reason why West Coast can't win this game and shouldn't win this game. If they don't win this game, problems with a capital P. I expect them to win, Shorty, but they need to make a stand early in this contest and let Hawthorn know that they're fair dinkum.
Yeah, I agree with you. The disturbing thing from a Hawthorn perspective is just how they're laying down late in games and getting blown away.
Yeah, defensively they're very, very inept at this stage.
Definitely. So unlike them. But, well, West Coast, this is your chance to get a little bit of confidence back at the G. On to the Monday football. Richmond doing battle with Melbourne. $1.67 out to $1.70 for the Tigers, and the D's $2.20 into $2.16. Melbourne, well, it's been a fortnight that they'd like to have their time back, and Jesse Hogan is one player in particular that would really be sitting there thinking to himself, what have I done wrong? And likewise Jordan Lewis, as two really important parts of the puzzle for Melbourne to not be there over the last fortnight. They've gone down in games they probably should have won, and I'm tipping the rest of the playing group would be giving them the old darkies over the corner.
I agree. I think if Hogan and Lewis play in the past fortnight, they're 4-0 Melbourne, and I think it would be a bit better 4-0 than what we've seen from Richmond. So I'm tipping Melbourne with Hogan back to have a big game.
Yeah, big Jesse owes them big time, doesn't he? So the big boy up front, you'd expect him to be smoking, pardon the pun, up front for Melbourne in this particular contest, albeit probably not with the durries in the mouth, hopefully off the boots this time round for big Jesse. And the final game, Anzac Day football. This is always one of my favourite days of the year, and pay tribute to the Diggers, of course, at the march in the morning, and then we get to go and watch some football, and it's generally always a wonderful battle between Essendon and Collingwood. Betting on the game sees $2.15 into $2.04 for the Bombers. Collingwood $1.70 out to $1.78. Well, Collingwood so far this season, Digby, they're proving to be my bogey team.
Yeah, I'm having a real troublesome time getting a handle on this game, Shorty, as we sit here on a Thursday morning. I'm not completely convinced either way. I'll tip Essendon just by virtue that maybe if the rain is around on Tuesday, they've had a go in it a fortnight ago against Carlton, possibly. I can't get a handle on Collingwood. I'm not convinced on there. Something's missing there, so I'll tip Essendon, but with no confidence.
No, I found it a really tough game. And as I said, Collingwood have owned me so far this year, but I'm going to give them another chance. When I watch them, they have that much of the ball in the contest that you just think, well, surely they're going to win, but wasteful. Inside that forward 50, they're so very wasteful.
Can't kick goals. You can't kick goals, and it's all about finishing the AFL. Unless you can finish, you're in trouble. So I'm going Essendon, but it's a tough one.
Yeah, it's a tricky game to round out proceedings. Let's recap our thoughts for AFL Round 5, Digby. We've both gone with Port Adelaide to kick off, both with the Western Bulldogs. Adelaide both get the nod, as do the Giants, Fremantle, Geelong and West Coast. The last 2 games is where we differ. I'm sticking with the Tiger train to make it 5 straight. You're going with the D's, and then on Anzac Day, I'm sticking with the Black and Whites. You're going with the Bombers.
Yes.
All right, let's find out a way to make some coin for everybody tuned in. We'll kick off with the multis. It was nice to get underway last week, and I must say, you were stiff as a board last week, Digby. You did all the hard work. The first 2 games in under 39.5. The last leg to get the chocolatas at almost $10 was Richmond to win by under 39.5, and they managed to win by over 39.5. It was a cruel blow late.
Yes, thank you very much, Richmond. I'll leave them out of the play this week, Shorty. I'm going for my multi, the 5 favourites on the Friday and Saturday, which is Port Adelaide, the Western Bulldogs, Adelaide, GWS and Fremantle, and that is paying $3.16.
$3.16, that sounds pretty decent to me. Look, I'm rolling the first 2 games. I expect these sides to win and win well. I've gone relatively conservative. Port to win by 25 or more. I think they'll win by 40 or more, to be honest. Western Bulldogs to win by 25 or more. Again, I think they'll probably win by 40 or more, but that just leaves us a little bit of buffer. And I'm rolling them into the GWS Giants, who I think will be a touch too good for Sydney, who have been battling. I know they've got those players coming back, but so often when you see a string of players coming back for the first time in a season, it can take them that one run to really sort it all out and put it together. So I'll stick with the Giants there. $3.12, the multi for me for this weekend. Port by 25 or more, Bulldogs by 25 or more, and the Giants to get the cash. We'll roll into our novelty for this week, Digby, and you've gone an interesting one this week with a little bit of wire-to-wire action.
Yes, I have. I've got Port jumping Carlton and leading all the way at to every break to do the money there, Shorty, and also into the Western Bulldogs to do likewise, and that is paying $2.43.
Yeah, nice. And I'll roll with the Friday night game. I expect Port to have a night out here. I'm going with Ollie Wines, 30 plus disposals, and the big boy up front, big Charlie Dixon with that wonderful big beard of his to kick 3 or more goals, and that's $2.95. So go Ollie Wines, get plenty of it through the middle, and then just feed the big boy up front, Charlie Dixon, 3 or more, the $2.95.
Dixon and Wines, they go together pretty well.
Don't they just? A pretty handy combination. So hopefully they're feeding each other very nicely on Friday night there at the Adelaide Oval. We'll see you again next week. And don't forget $2 lines, all from 8 a.m. on Friday. You can take those $2 AFL lines on all games from Friday night right through to Anzac Day on Tuesday, and use those $2 lines to your advantage. You can take them in and out of the AFL games, other sport, or indeed racing. It's all for you this weekend, all courtesy of TABtouch. $2 AFL lines from 8 a.m. on Friday morning.